This is the fourth annual Chapman University Survey of American Fears. The survey has been conducted on a yearly basis since 2014 and is collected from a random national sample of the American population, meaning that we now understand the fears of the average American.
One thing that stood out when we looked at the top fears is that it appears Americans are more afraid than they used to be. In every wave of the survey before this, there was only one item where a majority of Americans said they were afraid or very afraid, and that was corruption of government officials. On this year's survey, there were 5 items where a majority of Americans said they were afraid. Corruption of government officials still topped the list, and it jumped quite a few percentage points. After that came concerns about Trump care, pollution of our oceans, rivers, and lakes, pollution of our drinking water, and having enough money to retire.
A new fear emerged this year on our top 10 list. Americans are afraid of a nuclear attack by North Korea. Unfortunately, it's the outdated, even dangerous Cold War advice to duck and cover that most Americans remember. Instead, we need to learn to get inside, and stay tuned. If there's a nuclear explosion, there's going to be a blinding flash. Don't look at the light. If there's a mushroom cloud, hold your thumb up to the mushroom cloud. If you can see the cloud around the edges of your thumb, you're in the fallout zone, and you need to get inside, and stay tuned. Unfortunately, Americans are woefully uneducated about what to do in a major natural disaster or other emergency. Disasters don't prepare, but you can.
This year we took a closer look at how Americans view extremist groups. We asked about 10 different types of extremist groups and whether Americans felt they were a threat to national security. There were 2 groups where a majority of Americans thought they were a threat to national security. About 61% said that Islamic extremists represented a threat, and just over 50% of Americans felt that white supremacy groups represented a threat to national security. Overall, what we see is that Americans are concerned with a broad range of extremist groups, and this is important because the Department of Homeland Security is deciding right now whether to focus their initiatives on a broad-based effort or on a more narrowly focused effort on Islamic extremists. American concerns say they should be focusing on the broad-based effort. One thing that stands out about Americans' concerns with national security is that as worries about national security go up, our commitment to national values goes down. More than 1 out of 3 Americans now says that it's okay to give up some of our civil liberties in order to fight terrorism, the very sort of civil liberties that our country were founded on. This tells us that those politicians who try to motivate voters out of fear could be doing long-term damage to the values of this nation.